At Tactual Labs, we're committed to breaking the divide between physical and digital interaction. If I take a piece of paper and I drag it across a glass display, no matter how fast I move my finger, that piece of paper is glued to it, stuck, and it responds to every minute movement. When I write with a physical pen on a piece of paper, that ink stroke is immediately stuck to the pen tip and it responds to every minute gesture that I afforded. Today's touchscreen devices pale in comparison to the immediacy of the physical world. They attempt to present us with direct manipulation user interfaces, but they're still not truly direct, the way real-world interactions are.
At Tactual Labs, our goal is to eliminate all latency from user interfaces. Today, when you give input to a computer system, from the time that you give that input to the time that it can finally generate a response can be as long as 200 milliseconds. That doesn't sound like a long time, but what it means is when you're interacting with things that are, for example, direct touch, when you slide your finger along the screen, content falls behind it, and you get this disconnected, loose feeling with the interface. What we are able to achieve with our technology is to reduce that latency down below the levels that can be perceived by human users. And in so doing, creating a user experience that will provide a sense of reality and a feeling that you're interacting with real physical content in the system.
I've always found it interesting to study history and see how tools affect the way people actually do things. If you have a hammer and chisel, you're going to be making very square block writing in stone, like the Romans did with Latin. I's and J's are the same, V's and U's are the same. If you're writing on clay tablets, it's going to be different. If you're writing with a quill pen, it's going to be different. If we can actually have a user interface that seems completely natural to a human being, that mimics the way that they deal with the real world, this has the power to transform the way people work with their computers, work with their devices, and ensure that they do so in the most efficient way possible.
Latency is the difference between when you touch the device and when it actually reacts to you. Everyone complains about that, and it's this kind of monster that persists in current devices, current interactive devices. Tactual mission is to defeat that monster and reduce latency down to hopefully 0 milliseconds. So the minute you touch something, it reacts to you.
At Tactual Labs, we're working to improve the experience of working with touchscreen devices. We are combating what's called latency, which is the time between when you actually touch one of these touchscreens and when the graphics respond to them. So there are billions of these devices sold every year, and we think we can fundamentally improve the experience of working with them.